Welcome back, family. This is your boy Jeremiah King on another episode of Code Bruh. This episode is going to change your mindset and your perception of what sexy niggas really think. Turning players, turning gigolos, turning sexy ass niggas into a house nigga, a husband, a boyfriend, your man. Can you even do it? Is it possible? Let's find out. Again, this is your podcast, your number one podcast for women who need a sidekick and a voice for men. Welcome to Code Bra, and let's get right into it. So, can you even change a mind? Can you change a man? Can you change a player? Can you turn a pimp into a husband? Can you turn a pimp into a house nigga? Is that even possible? Hmm. This is gonna be a crazy, crazy answer that you might not want to hear it. But then again, you would have never joined today's podcast if you weren't interested in hearing what the answer has got to be. I got three of them for you to help you make sense of it all. Number one, for players, for pimps, right? For players, for pimps, for those who are super sexy. You think he's a dime piece, he's perfect, he got a perfect smile, he got a perfect body, he's making money, maybe he got a big ass penis. You have no idea what this man can truly do, but you want him. The truth is, most people like that, their intentions are not pure. They are not pure. I'm sorry, but it is not something that you want yourself to get into. If you do, just know it ain't gonna be easy. It ain't gonna be what you think. Just because you think he look good and he's perfect, and you think your kids are gonna be perfect in the image of what you have chosen as a man to be, you gotta think again. Because players, pimps, their intentions are all about sex. They are in this phase of life of trying to understand themselves, and they're trying to hit a number, hit a quota. They have their dream of hitting as many girls as possible, having sex with as many as women in this lifetime before he dies. He has a mission. Anytime that a player, a pimp, is smashing girls on a regular, and that's just the way he is, and you find him perhaps at a bar or at a club, most of the time he is in it for a wrong intention. Now that could be your intention. Maybe you want to have sex with him. Maybe you want a sexy man. Maybe you think you got yourself a good dude because he looked good and he checks off all the boxes. Maybe you want that for your life. Maybe that's what interests you. And maybe you have a high sex drive. So maybe you're on the same path, right? Maybe you're a hoe, right? I mean, only you know this. Only you know how many times you've done it in your past. But don't get it twisted. It's going to be hard. If you think you find yourself a great man that's perfect and you think he's a player and you know he's a player, but you still want him because you look good and you think you can change this nigga's mind. You think you can change him into a boyfriend and a husband, and you want him to have your kids or vice versa. You want to have his kids and you think he gonna bust a fat nut in you and you're gonna have his babies and your life is gonna be perfect just because of what you see. You are in for a rude awakening, because that is not the case. His intentions are set. He is already committed before he ever met you, which is why he got you. So what makes you think you could change his mind? I don't understand how women think that way, is that when they find a good man, they think they can change him. But I'm starting to become a little bit more wiser in this area because, again, as a therapist, I see it from both angles. As a mindset coach and a life coach, I see it from both sides of the story, from a woman's perspective and a man's perspective. Don't forget, I was once one. I was once a player. I wasn't a pimp, but I definitely had my fair share of girls. I was on a basketball team my entire life. Good looking dude, 6'6", light skin, right? I had all the women. And I was just in this mindset, kind of like a train that's on railroad tracks. They are just driving to get to their destination. Anything along the way gets hit and ran through. So if this nigga's a train, he's gonna be a train wreck in your life because he's running through you. You have to see it that way. It changes your perception. It changes how you see him now. I hope it does. You can't in this case. That's just number one. Number two is that he's highly unmanageable. First and foremost, but most importantly, his sex drive is so damn high. Now, if you find a man like this, you better be able to catch up. Can you keep up? Can you hang? Can you manage that? Can you do what he is asking of you in the most craziest ways? I'm talking about fulfilling his desires and sexual needs. Because most men, not only do they watch porn, but again, if they've hit many women, most women are in this chasing game of what they can do to try to hold down a man. So they're willing to do whatever. And a man, he's with it because he's getting fed. He's getting fed of his emotional needs and his sexual wants and his desires. But he has a mission. So no woman is going to be able to change his mind, but it's just an after effect, a domino effect, one after another, and the next one, and the next one. Because in one of my last videos, I said it. Most men think all women are the same. And if all the women are the same, how are you going to change that? How is it that one person, you, are going to change his mind if he thinks that? You probably feel the same way. You probably have said the same thing some point in time in your life that you think every man is the same. Every nigga is the same. Every player is the same. Every guy is the same. All your relationships are the same. Have you ever asked yourself this question? I bet you men has done the same. You know why? Because I am one. I've done that. I've said that. I still say that sometimes, even to this day, even though I'm a little bit different, right? I'm more wiser, I'm more smarter. I'm in personal development. I'm married. I got kids. I see things differently. I am not a cheater anymore because I have left that life behind. But in today's society, people who are not on that path, that journey, who are young, whew, I feel bad for y'all. But that's the truth. His sex drive is so high that you are not going to be able to change or keep up. You can do it 5 times a day. Many men think about sex at least 100 times a day. And if every time he thinks about a man, can you replace that thought by being there? It's just satisfying his needs. If you say no to that question, how are you going to change a man in that state of mind? That's a good one, huh? So, he has a high, unmanageable sex drive. Very possible to change someone's mindset on that right there. Number 3, last but not least, can you turn a gigolo, a player, a pimp into a husband, a boyfriend, a house nigga? The thing is, these types of men are selfish and immature. They are selfish. They just want what they want. There's nothing wrong with that. There's many women out here that are just having sex with dudes because they feel like they're in that journey too. And when they meet another guy that's on that journey, that's good for them. That's their life. That's what they choose. That's what they want. There's nothing wrong with having sex with people. And if they are single and they are free and that's what they want to do, you can't blame them for it. I can't stand when women are looking at men and they're trying to figure out how many how many girls have slept with. How many guys that girls have slept with. Does that sentence make sense? Does that sentence make sense? How many girls did that guy sleep with? That's what most women are trying to find out. Don't ask that question. Ladies, stop asking that stupid ass question. I can't stand when people ask that question. It's always going to be higher than a woman's. And if you know that, what's the point of asking? It's just gonna let you down. It's just gonna make you paint him in a different light. You can't judge that man because that's the life he chose. But the truth is, if you find a man, if you bump into a man of this caliber that he's always just having sex, he's casual. Sex is just what he wants. That's what he wants to do, especially on a first date, or if that's just how you roll, cool. But at the same time, don't blame him for it. Just know that he's selfish and he's immature. He has not grown to be a man because most men who are achieving success and are focused, you can only focus on one thing. I'm starting to realize this. It's very possible. It's very impossible to focus on multiple things, kind of like multitasking. It's like almost a myth, right? There's going to be a lot of arguments in today's day and age about can you multitask? Some people think they can, but it's monotasking. It's fast shifting and monotasking. It's not multitasking, but for the most part, men, they have to focus on one thing to be successful at it. And if they're focusing on sex, it's very hard for them to satisfy their categories in their life that makes them happy and successful. So that's why if you find a man that's like that, it's very more than likely that you cannot change that because that's just what he wants. That's what he's focused on. But if you find a good guy that's not focused on that, then you can probably change him into a boyfriend, into a husband. But for men who are focused on having sex and that's what they want, that's what makes them happy, cool. If you want to fall into that trap, you want to fall into a man's lap or fall into his arms thinking that he's going to save you and you're going to change his life and he going to change yours, you need to think again. It is not what you think. He's immature and he's selfish. Are these characteristics, qualities, traits of a man that you want? Is that what you're looking for? If their answer is no, what do you think the answer to this question is? Can you turn a player, a pimp, a gigolo, a bachelor into a husband, a boyfriend, or a house nigga? So what's the conclusion? In my opinion, it's a no. In my opinion, it's a no. Now, there is 8.9 billion people on this earth. Obviously, you can't have 100% of anything. Maybe 91, 92% is more than likely that you cannot change a man who is on that path. And that is his focus, his sole premise of what makes him a man is having sex with multiple women. You cannot be that woman to change it and have him know that that is the last person he's going to sleep with is you. That is almost impossible. It is not likely, and you have to see it that way, or else you are going to be into a rude awakening. You're going to get your heart broken. You're going to feel so stressed. You're going to get depressed because you are trying so hard to change a man that doesn't want to be changed, that doesn't want to be that which you're looking for. So drop it, leave him. Cool. If you want to have sex with him, do it. By all means, be my guest. I have no problem with that. Even though I'm a Christian, you might be one too, depending on your belief systems. Everyone has a belief system that is different than everyone. Everyone has fragments and bits and pieces of what religion is to them and what their beliefs are, what their standards are and their morals, but it really stems down to their childhood. What did they grow up seeing? What have they chosen for themselves as becoming a teenager when they were in their relationships? How quick or how fast did they get into sex at an early age? And then what are their habits? What are their morals? What are their standards? Who is their support system? These are all things that influence somebody's mindset on doing certain things. You are the same. So don't judge me, but I'm just saying, don't be upset. I just believe it to be true. Just let you do you if that's what you want. But do not be sad. Do not be depressed and sad and upset that you found somebody that you think was great and you can change him because you can't. It's not possible because he won't change. until the change has already occurred. You have to find a man in the process of change or who is already changed. But if he has not changed or if he is not in the process of change, that is what you have to see. You have to draw your conclusion from that. That is what is your answer. If you know that you're going to keep this man, you have to see it that way, or else you're going to get your heart broken. You have to either find a man that has already changed or is in the process and end of his process of change. For you to find a man that is perfect in your image, to change him into a boyfriend or a husband. That's all I got for today for you. If you enjoyed this podcast on Code Bruh, then go ahead, like and subscribe. Share this with as many as people as possible. Again, this is your number one podcast for women who need a sidekick and a voice for men. Share this podcast to your girlfriend who needs to understand if they got themselves a good nigga and he's sexy and maybe he has been a cheater in the past and he's a player and maybe a pimp or a gigolo or a bachelor, that you need to send this to her so she can understand if she thinks she can change him into a house nigga. Until next time, I love you. I'll see you on the next one.